Hey everyone. So thank you for joining us for the very first event. Super grateful to have Sanu Sagar actually presenting this Rive presentation. This is in collaboration with UI Peeps. UI Peeps Masterclass is basically a platform that teaches, people that want to get into UX and UI for game development. And there's a whole community from TikTok to Discord. So feel free to join us. It's a great community, a lot of fun, a lot of good people. One thing before we start, basically, I would ask to everybody to mute your microphone. This session will be recorded and shared with the UI Peeps social media. If you have any questions during the presentation, just wait until Sandy asks, like anyone has any question, and please raise your hand at that point. So Sanu, I am gonna give this over to you now. So I'm gonna stop sharing.
Okay, awesome. Hello, everyone. My name is Sanu Sagar. I'm a motion designer at Rive.app. I'm a multidisciplinary designer with experience across films, automotive systems, and next generation technologies like AR and VR. Uh, Today, I'll be demonstrating some of Rive's features from the basics to more advanced workflows uh, and sharing a few of the recent scripting experiments I have created in Rive. Cool. Let's talk about Rive a bit. So Rive is a real-time interactive animation tool that lets designers build animation that responds to user input and live data. Instead of exporting static videos, you create state machines, bind data directly to visuals, and ship lightweight interactive animation that runs anywhere. Apps, games, cars, and web. So today, as a table of content, I'm going to be talking about a couple of things. So state machine first. We're going to talk about the foundation of states, transition, and interaction logic. We're going to make some simple state machine example. I'm going to make a very simple button interaction. Then we'll get into a little advanced things like data binding, and I'm gonna create some very simple health bar using data binding and how it can be used in games. And then we'll get into some of the scripting, examples which we have created recently, and just talk about how it can become really useful for designers.
Hey, Sanu, just to confirm something, because I put you as a host, are you getting people try to join into the Zoom call?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Okay, maybe
See.
put me back as a host, and so I can
Yeah.
admit it as you presenting. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
This
No
is our
worries. No
first
worries.
time doing this, so it's a bit of a learning curve for us.
Yeah, I think, yeah, no, you're the host.
Okay, perfect.
Uh, okay, do you guys see my screen now?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so let's get into something really basic. So here's an example, we created just to teach how state machine works. So I'm gonna like delete everything and like do it from scratch. So it's like I have like pre-made animations here. So just to give you a brief overview, like this is I think it's very people who use Figma and After Effects. You might find this very familiar. So like this is where like you have your design layers, and on the bottom you see like you have like the keyframe editor like you use in After Effects, and it's like it's literally the combination of these two tools. Um, so the state machine, just to describe it a bit, state machine in Rive is a logic layer that controls how animation change based on condition. It's made of states, which is animations, input, which can be Boolean, number, or triggers, and transition that decide when and how the animation moves from one state to another. So, for example, we have a simple button. So, like we have three states. So, idle, hover, and click. So, and I can play the animation and see like how it's gonna work. So idle won't do anything. Hover will have this really nice highlight, and click will kind of like bring that broken pieces and make it into a button animation. So how do we make this interactive? So let's bring all these three states into the state machine. We're gonna keep it very simple to understand. So first of all, we need to connect it to the entry, because this is where like you enter into any state. So this is the starting point. You have to connect it. If you play it, now you see like it's in idle state. And now we need to make, we need to transition to hover. So we're gonna drag this, but it automatically jumped on it because we don't have any condition. So condition is, we'll come back to this later. So let's start with, inputs. So inputs, basically, like I said, it's inputs are values, like it could be Boolean, number, or trigger that controls animation states. Changing an input tells the state machine what animation should play. So when you click on in here, you would find these three options. So it could be a number, Boolean, or trigger. For hover, we'll go with Boolean. So it's like a light switch. You can turn on and off. So let's call it hover. And so we connected this thing from idle to hover. Now in the center, you have this arrow in the circle. So we're going to click on that. And on the bottom, there's a condition panel. So we're going to create a condition by clicking on the plus button. And let's see. In inputs, which is here, we have a hover option. So we click on that. And we have two conditions here. Like I said, true or false. So I want, whenever like I turn this thing on, I want it to go to hover. So this is right. Like I want it, this should be true. But I also want it to come back if I turn it off. So I'm gonna drag this from hover to idle. That's gonna give me another one. And I'm gonna click on this and I'm gonna add the same input. I'm gonna call it false. So now, if I play this, and if I click on this, that's gonna give me a hover. So like now, as you can see, it transitioned to the hover. And if I turn it off, it's gonna come back. But it's kind of really, chunky, doesn't have any transition, smoothness. So how do we fix that? So we're gonna select both of these. On your right, you would find the transition options. So you can set a duration for this. So like, let's say 500 ms. And I can also add a curve to the transition. So now if we try this again, it's gonna be a lot smoother. Cool. So the hover is working now. Let's do a click now. So we want it to go from hover to click once the hover is done. So we're gonna connect this again from hover to click. And now we're gonna create another one, and that'll be a trigger. So we're gonna call it click. So, and click is just like a trigger. I mean, trigger is a trigger. Like I don't have to explain it. Again, come in here and we click on this arrow, add a condition, and we're gonna add click from the input. And let's see, first we need to go from idle to hover. For that, we're gonna have to hit hover. That'll take it there. And now we want it to go to click. So I'm gonna click on this and now it's gonna trigger. So basically this is how inputs work. and with conditions. But I wanted to like work with my mouse, with my cursor. Like I wanted to like hover on this button and like have the hover on and like click on it in order to get the click animation. So for that, we're gonna have to add a listener. So a listener in Rive detects user interaction like hover or click on an object. When triggered, they update inputs that drive state machine transition and animation. So basically, it's looking for what you're doing. It's looking for your interaction. So we're gonna call it input change. Sorry, not this way. So let's say we're gonna take this button base, and I want this thing to work as a listener. So I'm gonna click on this and add listener. That's gonna give me input change. So I'm gonna call it hover on. And we're gonna make another one for hover off, because we also need to get out of that base layer to turn it off. So I'll duplicate it. So let's go on the right side where like we set the interaction type. So on hover on, we want the pointer to enter, which is exactly what we have right now. But on hover off, we want it to be pointer exit. And on hover on, let's select the hover and we set it to true. On hover off, we again select the hover, which is this one again, and set it to false. So if we have done it right, we play this, and if I go in here, that's gonna give me this hover. So if I come back, get out of the shape, it's gonna turn off, get in, and it's gonna get into the hover state. Made any sense? Is it making any sense? Cool. Okay, so now we need to do the same thing for a click. So I'm gonna make another listener. So I'm just gonna duplicate this again. I'm gonna call it click. Okay. And now we're gonna set it to click. We have this click interaction in here. So again, just switch it to click. So let's see if it works. So hover on, and I click on it, and that's gonna work. So now it has gone from hover to click. Didn't make any sense. Is it a little confusing? Okay, I'm getting thumbs up, so I think it looks good. Okay, so this is like the very fundamental of state machines. Let's get into something complex. And let me talk about data binding. So first of all, let me just stop sharing for a bit. Or maybe I can just go to, one sec. Okay. So let's talk about data binding. So data binding means connecting real data to your Rive animation, so it updates automatically. So for example, you can connect, any kind of like the health data number, and it will, it will drive the animation when you change it. So for example, in here, as you can see, there's so many data inputs here. So let's focus on this one. So like here, so it's more of a evolved version of input. So like this can control anything across your file. Like input can only trigger things or like activate animations inside a particular artboard. But this with data binding, you can like trigger multiple things across the file. So it's like much superior, and this is something you can connect to the external data or API, which can control the animation in Rive. Okay, so here I have a very simple example. As you can see, it's a health bar. If I go in here, so I can, so you see on the left, it's similar to inputs. So you can like change it and like you can see it working. So the number is working with it, and like there's some really nice transition happening. So let's try to do it from scratch. I'm gonna get into this thing. I'm gonna delete this just for the sake of making it again. So if you are new to data binding, like you can click on the top here and you can click on view model. That'll create a new view model. And we need a number which can control the number on the right. And we call it health number. And we also need to make sure we need to name it properly. Health bar. We're gonna call it 2 just for not confusing. So in here, if I go in here, I can, on the artboard, I need to like make sure that it's taking data from the right view model. So I'm gonna change it to health bar 2, which we just created. And okay, so now this is the health number, and we need to connect it to our health number. So let's try that. So in here, the text, I'm gonna add a data binding. So if I right click, I can find a data binding option. So select the property, which is health number. We'll talk about converters later, but like right now it's not gonna work because we also need to make sure that we need to add a string converter in order to make it work. So string converter is basically a small helper that lets you convert values into text so they can be displayed in text objects or used where text is required. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and it's reflecting here. But I want it to have some interpolation and nice transition. How do I do that? Well, I'm gonna go in, so we can have to create a converter group. So converter group is something like where you can add multiple converters. So for example, if you've used After Effects, you can add many effects and which can like do different things. So in here, we'll do a new one. So like let's create a new converter group. So I'll just do a new number, and let's create a new string, convert to string. I'm gonna make sure the round decimal and remove trail zero is on. We also need a range converter. So I'm gonna tell you what it does, but where's it? So we have our range map. Let me put it on the top. So basically what it does is currently, if you see, I can go beyond 100, but I want the health bar to only go from 0 to 100. So in order to set the, the bars, basically to clamp it, I need a range map. So let's start with that. So let's again go back in here and reconnect. So we're gonna change it to new converter. What was that? What was the converter made? Check range map. Oh, this is the one. New number. Okay, so we're gonna go back in here and We're gonna look for a new number. Okay, now we're connected to the group. So again, we're gonna have to make sure that the range is right. So let's go back in the new number, and we're gonna go from 0 to 100. That's like input, and same thing for 0 to 100. And we need to make sure we have the clamps on, so it can like stop it from going above 100. So if I go try this again, let's see if it works. So yeah, see if I'm going beyond 100, like you can see it's like clamped to 100, which is what we need in video games a lot of times. So you can set the numbers, and we also need some interpolation. So we also need some smoothness in it. So we're gonna use we're gonna go in here and create a simple interpolator, and I'm gonna put it above this thing, and I want it to have like 500 ms, and also add a little curvature. So let's see if it works, and if we change it, so now you can see like this nice transition. It's not like chunky anymore, so it's like has some smooth animation. And you can of course like change the numbers to whatever you want. So now it's 1 second, so let's see if it works again. So now it's taking even slower, and you can like change the curves, and that's gonna reflect the animation as well. So like it starts really slow and then kind of like jumps. Okay, so now this is done. Now let's go to the health bar. We have a health bar here, and where's it? So let's reset this guy. So like as you can see, this is the health bar, and again, this is done with layout. So if you're using layouts to create these things, it would be really smart, because then you get like layout animations inbuilt. So you won't have to create another converter group like we did for the numbers. So well, it does the same thing. Like it goes from 0 to 100, but we want the same things what we did with the numbers. So let's do that. Gonna go back in here, and I'm gonna call it well, let's just we can just control it with this guy. So let's go in and connect this to the health number again. Okay, and let's see if it works. So without anything, oh, it's still working. Nice. Because sorry, you have to like remove the time. Okay. So now, yeah, this is like very chunky, like how we had it before, but because it's done with layout, now you can add layout animation and transition. So I can call it 1 second again, and but like before, it's not 10 seconds. Okay, so yeah, now it's working. It's using the layout animation and transition time to work, but like it still does not stop at 100. So we're gonna have to make another range mapper to clamp that, and we'll do it again. So maybe we don't have to do it, because like you can use the one we created before. So this is the range mapper we created for the number. So let's try that. So not this, on this guy. It's the range mapper. Let's see if it works. So see, yeah. So now it's not going beyond 100. So it kind of like stays in that. So this way we can create like really awesome game data with data binding. So like, you can connect it to the real game data, and like it's gonna drive these animation. Do you guys have any questions so far? Because like this is where I want to see if people are getting it or have any confusion or questions.
There is a question on the chat. It says, "What's the difference between duration time versus exit time in that transition?"
Sure. The duration time is basically um, the exit time is when you want it to exit. So like sometimes you don't want the trigger to activate things. So let's say I'll show you what it does. So let's get rid of this guy, and we don't let's say we don't want let's say actually. So what if we want it to go from click to hover? Uh, so without clicking anything, so we can add a exit time, and that could be 1 second, let's say. So it will not look for any inputs. It's just gonna once you're in click, and it's gonna wait for 1 second or 100 ms, and it'll come back to the hover. So it also works as a trigger. So let's see if it works. So if we hover it, click on it, and let's see. See, it's coming back to this. Let's see. Let's make it 10 seconds just to make it. So let's see. Click on it. It stays there, and once it hits 10 seconds, it's gonna come back to hover. So that's exit time. Is it coming? Is it coming? Yeah. So again, like the duration time is, you saw that how chunky it was. So for that, you need to add the duration. So you can set it to 500 ms, and then that's gonna transition. That's gonna make it smoother. So it's gonna be slower. Let's see, it works. Again, we go hover, click on it, just wait for 10 seconds. Hope it works.
Cool, thank you. Igor also has a question. He raised his hand.
Yeah, hello. Do you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. What's the best practice with like using inputs? Because I've seen you put like a label that mentioned that explore data binding instead. Like, is that something we should get used to? Because I'm doing this towards Unity, and is there any specific use cases using the inputs, or can I always use view model basically?
I would say you can always use view models. Like
cool.
I have stopped using input ever since data binding is launched, and because like you have so much control over that. So like you don't have to use it anymore. I mean, we actually say it here, like explore data binding. Yeah. So yeah, that's the.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So we're clear with exit time and duration. Cool. Any more questions?
I think we're good. We can move forward.
Cool. All right.
Ziv just asked a question. Is there support for controller?
Controller, like game controllers?
Yes.
We're working on it. Like, I can't promise when it will come, but like, yeah, we have that in our roadmap.
Perfect. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so now let's get a little more complex with data binding, and let me show you how actually it's going to be really useful. So in here, I don't need to explain how do you create the view models, because I think it's the same way you create. You make a view model, and then you add a different string, number, and triggers like what we did earlier. One thing is very special here is you can also add images. So you can add an image, and then let me do it from scratch again. So let's create a view model. We're going to call it score, just score. Let's just do scorecard too. Okay, and then we're going to add an image, data binding. Just leave it there. And in here, you can add whatever image you have available in assets. So like in here, I have like 4 images. And I want to connect it to, this. So I would just go in and, first I'm going to go in here and I'm going to connect. So I'm going to just unbind it for it. So like you can change it to whatever, and then, you have the option to change it here, but you can like connect it to data binding, and like we're going to make it, we'll connect it to image property, which we just created. And now it's connected to data binding, which means this can access and change the image. Okay, so let's see. First of all, we need to change the view model. We have to make sure every time you have a new view model, you need to make sure like it's kind of like the artboard is connected to that correctly. Okay, so now what's the big deal with like this image data binding when you connect it? So you can select whatever image you want, and it's gonna reflect. So you see like it's reflecting in here. It's controlled by data binding now. Now you can create instances, which means in the view model, if I go in here in the view model, I can create instances of this. So I can create image 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now it has like 4 instances, which I'm going to show how we'll use in the main artboard. So like we'll first connect all these images to these instances. So like start with 1, 2, 3 is there. Let's got 4. So each instance has a different image now. Cool. And what happened earlier was like before image data binding, you had to create multiple artboards with these images, and then you have to like change the components. But now with data binding image, you don't have to do that. You can just have it in one component, and like that's something you can use and create like multiple instances just with one component. So in here, for example, let's create a new artboard. And we also need to make sure that we have a main view model so that we can import that. We're gonna call it main. We're gonna connect this to main. And now we're gonna bring in the components, which is scorecard. So here's the scorecard. But we wanted different images in different cards. So if we like duplicate it, currently, sorry, not this guy. Oops. So let's make a few copies of it. 3, let's make one more. Oops. So let's put that in center. So now we want all 4 cards to have different images. So start with the first one, and we're gonna bind it to player 1. Sorry, is it already made with? Sorry, we're gonna have to make sure we are importing these view models inside. So we're gonna have to bring in the scorecard too, which we just created, and we're gonna have to assign the images what we want in these instances. So we're gonna duplicate it 4 times because we have 4 images. We're gonna call it image 1, image 2. I'm sorry. Image 3. Sorry, it's 4. And we'll make sure that we're assigning the right images, right instance in here. So we click on the second, then we go click on the third. Okay, so now it's imported inside the main view model. So which means you can access it now. So if I go back here, I can connect it to image 1. Let's call it image 2, image 3, image 4. So if I've done it right, if I play this, oops, what happened? So I mean, if I've done it right, maybe something I'm not connecting properly. Like you have all the data connected, and you can see like I have all the images in here. So inside this, I can like have all the cards. Tier 1. This is working here. So yeah, this is right. Okay, something I'm not doing correctly, but like you can have like multiple images, and you can also connect the player name and number the same way, and now you can like change it, change the numbers, and you can change it to whatever, like you change the name for all the players, and it's gonna reflect. I'm gonna call it. So like you can see it's kind of reflecting, and you can also change the images if you want, like whatever image you have in the data binding. So like you've created just one of these component, and you can have multiple instances of this. Is it making any sense?
Jason did have a question on the chat. His question was, can you import data from, say, a Google spreadsheet with the numbers image via URL?
With URL, you're saying?
Yeah, so it looks like a spreadsheet with numbers or a image via URL.
Image via URL, I doubt. Like you're gonna have to bring in the image assets like in PSD, PNG, or like yeah, I don't think link would work right now, but maybe on the external side you can do that. So yeah, that's something you can do. Like you can connect it to an API. I'm not an engineer, but like if there's a way to do that, yes, you can do that. But inside Rive, yeah, you can have to have PNG. You can have WebP, JPEG, or PNG.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, so now let me stop my screen sharing for a bit. Okay, now let's get into some scripting examples. So
Before you start in scripting, there was a follow-up question, Sanu.
Yeah.
So basically, would it be possible to send a batch of images at once, or even a folder in your computer, from your computer?
I've never tried. You mean like dragging the entire folder and can import
Yeah,
images?
that's what I'm assuming.
Like never tried that, but you can import a PSD with different layers, so that works, and we use it all the times to do solos, which we'll get into some other time. But like yes, but I doubt like if we can import images from folder. Like not the entire folder. You can like drag it one by one, and it's gonna work.
Yeah. Another follow-up question with, what about from Figma? Do you have any exporting everything individually?
From Rive to Figma?
I believe it would be from Figma to Rive.
You can currently copy paste, the paths and vector, and it should come in. I'm a Illustrator guy, so like that's how I use it. Like I can like just copy the vector file, the vector path, and just like paste it. So that brings it. But yeah, sometimes the gradient doesn't work that well because like of course it's made with completely different platform. So yeah, but you can bring in the paths, or you can save it as SVG and like import it. So that can
Okay.
work as well.
And then do you have to publish the data variables to make them visible to the runtime? That's a question from Claudio.
Sorry, come again?
So do you have to publish the data variables to make them visible to the runtime?
Well, that's an technical question for an engineer, but I assume yes, like whatever you have in the data binding, whatever you have in the view model, you can like access that and it'll be visible, be it in Unity or web, like, yeah, you can have access to that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right, let's get into some scripting stuff. Sorry. Okay, so let's get into this thing. Okay, so if you know what scripting does, like you can create like really complex interactions in Rive now, which was, in fact, not possible to do with state machine and data binding, or would have taken a lot of effort to do. So, for example, I have this simple car cluster design, and I am kind of like creating a range here from like 0 to 100 in here using just the animation of it from 0 to 100. It's going to go to 220 and same for the tachometer, but I want it to work just like a car instrument cluster where you accelerate and it can decelerate and it can switch gears. So I cannot do that, but like with scripting, I was able to create, I asked it to create, some, two different scripts which can control one, the speedometer, and the second, the tachometer. So even in tachometer, I also wanted, it to change the gear, like how you have in automatic cars. So and it can work with click, and when you release the click, it'll decelerate. So I'm literally asked the agent to do that, and it gave me these two scripts, which I have it in here. So if I go in here, you see like there's a tachometer and speedometer, so you can like just add it in here. Where is it? Well, if you have already added, maybe it won't show. Oh yeah, so if you go in script node, you can find your script. So you just have to add it, and let's try it. If I play this, you can see like when I'm clicking, you can see the speedometer moving and the tachometer moving. Also look at the gear. So like it's changing once it's hitting that the threshold. And once I release my click, it's just gonna come back. The speed is gonna decelerate. Like how do you have it? It's basically working as an acceleration paddle. And you can also change it to, it gives you all the values you want. Like I asked for like give me the gear numbers I can set, and like drop RPM, shift RPM, what should be the red line, and you can of course like use it for different cars. So I mean, this is something, it's kind of like really amazing to be able to do without knowing a single line of code. And it's not like, it's you can like, you don't have to like finish the entire thing, but you can at least get it to a point where like you have all the functionality working, and you can hand it over to a developer who can actually who knows the coding, and he can like take it even further. So I mean, this is kind of like this is so awesome. I also have game which I created recently. Let me share. Okay, so this is a road fighter inspired game I created with scripting. So everything you see here, it's all built in Rive. So like all the numbers and the graphics and the motion graphics you see, everything is a Rive asset, and it's working with state machine. So like let me first show you how it looks. So I can show. So you can click on this, oops, and you play this, and now you have this nice game which you can play. Might be you might see some drop frames because of the zoom, but like yeah, you can see how awesome it's working. So you can. So, just to show you like the process, like you see, like the HUD is here. Everything is, you have the data binding asset for everything. Like you see, like all the thing I have, the enemy car, the fuel truck, restart HUD, everything is there. So it's using all the properties from Rive and all the assets and animation from Rive, and just figuring out the functionality. So like I started with like a very basic setup. So like I just want the asset to like, hey, make me a road fighter a style game, and I told the AI agent the constraints, like it cannot like uh, you know if it hits the car, it's gonna spin and it's gonna lose the speed and gas, and it kind of like used my Rive assets and animation, and just like kept creating all these functionalities. So like in here, you can see I have all the data binding set up. So the script is basically looking at these and changing it whenever the condition is met. So like when I kind of hit the rocket icon, I would ask it to like give me a boost or like fuel add. So like it's gonna give me this one, and like when I get into the turbo mode, it's just gonna give me this. And I asked the AI, whenever I hit this rocket mode, give me this animation, and that's exactly what it's doing. So like all of your designs and animations are 100% yours. Like you have full control on your creativity, and there's no, literally, like it takes away the barrier of technical abilities. Like it can help you create these kind of experiences and games so good, and it understands like all the Rive features very well. Like it understands state machine, it understands data binding, and like the all the editor features so well. So like it becomes super easy even when you're communicating in a very loose manner. Like it's just gonna give you, it understands, oh, you're talking about this trigger which you have in this view model, so it can like talk to you. So yeah, it's mind-blowing, and I'm super excited about scripting, and like whoever using, like you can see like so many examples out there. People are killing with scripting demos on internet.
Hey, Sandy,
Sorry.
we have two questions on the chat.
Yeah.
First, first is can you write your code yourself if you want, or do you need to use an agent?
No, you can definitely write your code. So it uses a Lua code. I mean, you can, if you are comfortable with that, if you can write your own code, definitely go for it, because then you save agent credit. Like you don't have to spend money on an agent. But yeah, like someone who's never done it, like wants to do something simple, like me, I don't know how to code, so it's like it works like magic for me.
And then a follow-up, another question would be, can you add textures to assets in Rive?
Add textures to asset?
Mm-hmm. Can you add textures to assets in Rive?
Like what kind of textures?
Let me.
So
This is
like,
from
is it like a
Ferenc.
PNG texture you want to bring in and like add it on top of vector?
Ferenc, do you want to ask the question?
Yeah, any texture to basically make the surface more rough or something like that.
Sure, you can bring in PNGs or like JPEG and like use it like how you use it in Photoshop, like blend it with like the blending mode. So we have all those features. So yes, you can also like create it inside Rive like now. Like with scripting, you can create your own mini tools. Like you if you're on internet, you can look for Laura's scripting examples, like where she created a really nice path deforming script which allows you to which makes um, the path like wiggle, and like you can add all sorts of like animation to it. So yeah, you can now do that in Rive itself. But yes, your original question, you can totally import textures and add it.
Then Igor is asking, does scripting hurts performance, for example, in Unity and Unreal Engine?
I don't think so, but we'll see. Like, we're gonna import that and like we'll test it. But I don't think so. Scripting would do anything bad to the performance.
Joshua's asking, is it possible to drop vectors or assets in Rive using the scripting?
Well, yes, that is also possible. So you can like ask it to create I have some examples somewhere, and I'll try to like get it posted on Rive's account. But yes, you can do that. You can like ask it to create like, I want a circle with like stars in it, and I want it to have a wiggle animation, so it can now create vector paths, and it can also create keyframes. So yes.
Perfect. I think that's it for now for the questions.
Awesome. Let me go back to my presentation deck. Okay, so now I think, so these demo files I shared, the button, it's on Marketplace. So you guys can get on this link and just use it on Marketplace and like try to recreate it, and maybe post it on Twitter or LinkedIn and tell how do you like it. Also, we have like all sorts of resources, like from docs to YouTube channel. We have a Discord channel. We have a community page, like I talked about, which you can access. And also, like, there are some really awesome, Rive tutorials on School of Motion. I think they're the best at making motion design courses. So if you wanna get serious with Rive, you can definitely try that. Otherwise, like, we have free tutorials on YouTube coming all the time. So let's go. Yeah, maybe, I think, do you have any more additional questions about anything? Let me know.
Yes, there is Shuvra is asking, so we have to create the assets and state machine logics before we use scripting?
No, I mean, you can ask it to, like, just ask it to do a game, and it's gonna give you its own graphics. But again, the power of Rive is that you get the control to design your assets and like take it to the next level. If you look at, you can do similar things in other tools as well, but like Rive allows you to get 100% control and like take it to the next level, where you can add really complex animation and design to your to your work or project or file,
Sounds good.
whatever you're trying to create.
Excellent. All right. So I guess anyone else has any other questions? You can write them in the chat, or you can just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask the question.
Yeah.
I actually have a quite good question, I believe. we're currently implementing our UI into Unity, but the biggest problem right now is like all the flat white corners are getting washed out, and especially the thin lettering and the thin strokes, and we can't figure out how to solve this.
Okay, that's something we can look into. If you can ask that question, and are you on Rive community page?
Yeah, I am. I think I posted it, but I can like repost and do like a comparison, pictures, etc. Because it's sad because your software is so good. Like it's the best thing ever created the past 2 years. So
Well, yeah, I mean, super happy to hear that you like Rive. But yeah, like I'll ask the developers and ask them to like look into it and see if we can fix that. So you posted it already, right?
I think so, but I might have to repost it and show comparison pictures.
Okay, so maybe if you're connected to me on any social media, like you can just send that to me and I can like
Oh yeah,
ask
for
these
sure.
people to look into it. Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
No problem.
Another question on the chat from Andy. Unreal and Unity both has pretty robust but very painful UI tools. Have you seen a rise of adoption across the game industry with Rive?
Like, do I see the adoption?
With a lot of like
100%.
UX, UI designers and game dev?
Yes, I mean that's something I had the same feeling when I saw Rive, and I came to know that you can build your user interfaces in Rive and like import that in Unreal, and it's just gonna work. So I mean, I tried to learn Unreal's design system, the UMG, but I like it's not made for designers. I had like really hard time, but Rive kind of fix it fixes that problem very well, and you don't get any performance hit, and everything is um, built inside Rive. So like all of your states and animation and data is there. So all you need to do is connect it. So we're gonna launch Unreal plugin very soon, and I hope like people will love it because we have really made it super fast from the previous version, and like it's also now easier to connect data from Rive to Unreal Blueprint.
When that
So yeah,
plugin
like
comes out, we'll have to have you back, dude, and come and show us that because I think a
yes,
lot of people are waiting for that, even including
yes,
myself, because damn, I hate UMG. I'm not gonna lie.
yes,
So,
yeah. And we're gonna be hopefully I'll try to bring someone some Unreal expert from our team and can like explain how it works and like how to do it, and we'll be yeah, I'm waiting for that too.
awesome.
But yeah, this is gonna be is just gonna replace the Unity and Unreal UI design process, because this is much better. Like you feel like home, like you feel like an artist here.
Yeah,
That's what
well,
you
we were
want.
just talking about that yesterday, right? We
Yeah,
said like we both agree that UMG is like made for engineers by engineers,
correct.
whereas like Rive and Figma seems to adopt more of a creative kind of game dev
Yeah.
artist kind of approach. And it's awesome. Shuvra is actually also asking, I recently tried to import a 1080p image sequence in Rive, and Rive seems to respond slow and get crashed. Is there a file size recommendation to be used without losing quality?
Yes, you can. First, you try to bring that in as a PSD. I haven't done it in a really long time, so but like if if you change some settings, it might give you. Sorry, I think right here. Where is it? Let me stop my screen. Let me see if I can find. So is it a PNG sequence, or assume it's a.
They haven't specifically. Shuvra, is it a PNG or a different file format? Yes. It is a PNG sequence, I'm assuming.
So you can convert it from PNG to WebP, and like in hold on, let me actually share my screen. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, so when you select, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so when you select the images, on the right you have all sorts of options here. So you can change it to WebP, and also you're gonna have to set the type to referenced. I think that tends to improve the the speed and makes it less heavy, and you can also like reduce the quality here if it's not too big. If you, something small and but big in size, like you can try that. I'm honestly not sure like what makes it faster, but yeah, I think you can try changing these and see if it improves your situation.
Igor is asking, says, wait, can you upscale as well?
Upscale a PNG.
I'm assuming that's what he means. Igor, you want to?
Yeah, I mean, if
I
in
don't.
Figma you can like X2 or X4 export just for better quality when you implement in engine. Is there like a way to do that, like in a Rive file, etc.?
I don't think you can upscale. I mean, whatever like the quality of your PNG, you have the original size, like um, yeah, like whatever the imported size is and the quality is just gonna be the same. I don't think it it
Oh yeah.
improves it uh, right now.
Okay. Cool. Thanks.
But maybe some, hopefully we can import vector images and can convert it to sorry, you can import PNGs, and at some point we can convert it to vector, and then
Oh
you
my
can
God.
scale it. Yeah, so that's a possibility.
That would
But
be insane.
I'm not promising.
Thank you.
Another question from the chat from Shuvra. Will importing 3D objects be possible in the future?
Importing 3D, you can currently, some awesome dude made a script which can import really simple 3D geometries in Rive, and I think if you look on internet, like somewhere in our feed, like you'd find like there's a kind of like spaceship demo someone created with that. So like yes, that's happening, and hopefully it'll get mature and like you'd be able to import. But well, again, I won't promise, but yes, fingers crossed. I'd be the happiest person if that happens.
Yeah, it would be pretty dope. Excellent. Does anyone else have any other questions? Jean-Paul is asking, what's the advantage or what advantages are there to be building all your components in one artboard instead of having them built separately? Example, if I'm building a UI frame where each UI element has an animation.
I assumed file size, because like it's using different artboards. I might be wrong, because like that's a good question. But like you can, it kind of keeps it organized. Also, you don't have to like it makes it easier. Like you don't have to like create multiple artboards and like look for it, but you can directly import it from your assets library and connect it. Um, yeah, but I'm not sure if it improves the performance until unless you're duplicating well, yes, that's a good point. Like let's say you made a few buttons, right, and each has an image or icon, right? And if you have like 4 different artboards with 4 different vector buttons, that's going to increase the size. So if you do that in just one component, that's just going to take that, one vector file, and then you're only changing the images. So basically you're reducing that extra 3 vector file you have to create, which is going to reduce the size and of course performance will be better.
All right, good. Igor, he has raised his hand, and then after that, I got another question for you from Joshua.
I'm sorry, I have so many questions, but
That's why we're here,
Go for
man.
it.
Don't feel bad.
that it's so awesome. No, but I honestly think in Unity currently our file is so big, like we're funneling everything currently into one artboard, like we're using the HUD, overlay panels, etc. And I think in Unity right now we hit a cap, and I think it might be a Unity error because the list don't show all components after 25 components or artboards or whatever. What's the best practices? Is it a good thing to split it up more, like in more Rive files, like let's keep HUD and let's keep menu and etc.
I mean, if it helps, like, yeah, you can definitely try that. But like, yeah, if you try to like reduce things from assets which you're not using, try to like again reduce the size of the image, because like that's something we can't help, because like if the image size is 1 MB, it's gonna export 1 MB. Like Rive won't be able to do much on that. Like and again, like when you're creating let's say when you're creating something with vector feathering, instead of duplicating the circle, so like sometimes you would create a circle and then you add a feather, so you duplicate that naturally, right? Like that's how we have done it in Illustrator or Figma, but that'll add more, they'll take more memory. So you, instead of doing that, you should add extra fill on the right. So like just take one shape and like keep adding fills, like whatever you want, instead of duplicating the layers. So like there are some standard practice, hopefully we can release that so that like you can like check like if it's not really making your file heavy or inefficient.
I mean, my file is 3 megabit.
Yeah.
But I have like an entire
definitely
flow.
share that on if you can share, like if it's not if it's not a problem, you can share that and we can look into it and see
sure.
what's wrong.
Yeah, thank you.
Anyone else have any other questions? Guys are good. All right. So somebody did ask also if it'd be possible to get some of your slides with the URLs for that you shared with us. So if that's okay, maybe we can. I'll post them onto the UI Peeps Discord on the Rive channel, and then so people can have access to that. But yeah. So again, thank you so much, Sanu, to like taking the time to present, and it was an amazing. I think a lot of people had a lot of questions. You know,
Also, I would like to ask, like, what are the other things you'd want to learn? Let's say if we do that same, demo next time, like, what are the things you'd want to learn? Do let us know, or Stephen, and I'll try to like make sure that I have that content ready.
Yeah, so you can reach out to me either on social media. We'll gather all that data, and then we'll try to redo this like in a couple more months. And from the data, we'll try to kind of personalize a little bit what you guys want to learn for the next time. So that's the goal with that information. Now, there was another question on the chat which I missed, and I apologize for that. But Josh was asking, is it possible to create a scroll effect in Rive without using layouts?
Scroll effect without using layout. With scripting, yes. You can use scripting to do that. You can like just ask it to, you can ask it to like make a layout and which has a scroll feature. Let's say you make a music app and it's gonna create you that and you can replace those blocks or like the columns with like your own asset, which will have your beautiful Rive animation and design. So yes, that's what scripting does. Like it allow you to do things which is currently either difficult to do or not possible to do in Rive Editor. Give it a try.
Sounds good. Erica mentioned that they would love to see the full workflow process covered of having images or vector created, working and animated in Rive, then exported into a game engine of choice.
Yes, that's something we'll definitely try to make once we launch the Unreal plugin to show how you do it, like how you take things from Rive and import that in Unreal and connect that data binding, connect that with Blueprint and like make it work and see the performance. So yeah, that's something we have in our to-do list. So yeah, just you gotta wait for that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I totally understand that. So I think like a lot of people, even Jonathan just mentioned, like having that type of implementation with the game plugin would be really, really interesting for a lot of people. So maybe one that's out in public, because obviously you can't talk about too much about tools that are being in development with Rive, but obviously, once it's out in the public or maybe even beta, we can do this again and we can talk about it. So I think that would be very beneficial for a lot of people. So.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, all
Uh,
right. Oh, yep. Go ahead.
No, well, I'd like to just say thank you, Stefan, for bringing me here and like letting me demo Rive, and hope all of you learned something. And I would highly recommend learning this tool. This is just gonna be used almost everywhere. Like no matter where you're gonna go, like it's gonna be useful. It's like I come from a After Effects background, and like I had to like export videos and stuff to developers, and it was a very bad experience. Like it was a nightmare. Like when you're trying to implement things when you're coming from After Effects, and Rive literally solves that problem. So this is something I always wanted to have, like something which can solve that problem. And yeah, like this is the best place where you can like you know create all your ideas, and like you can work with the developer like at the same time. So like the designer developer working at the same time, that's like the best case scenario when you're trying to like make any kind of experiences. So yeah, I would highly recommend signing up. If you don't have a Rive account, please sign up and try it and just use our resources and learn it, and yeah, share what awesome stuff you guys make with that.
Yeah, there is a free version of Rive, so you can literally just start working with it. So that's good. So excellent. Well, again,
Awesome.
thank you so much, Sanu. And then, so for those who are also, I will be posting this video. It's being recorded, so I'll be posting this video on the UI Peeps YouTube channel. So make sure I share it on the chat, the URL. So if you're interested in getting notification when it gets available, it's probably going to be like next week or the week afterwards. I'm probably going to do some editing on that video and then I'll share it to the public. So make sure that you follow UI Peeps on YouTube and other social media. So yeah, so thank you so much,
Yeah.
Sanu. And
Yeah.
yeah, we'll do this again, guys. So and that's what I mean. Just follow us on social media, and I'll be promoting it once again. So yeah, so this was great. So.